Peace, peace. What's the word? What's happening, everybody? Hopefully, everybody is having a powerful, peaceful, productive, healthy. What's today? Wednesday thus far. And hopefully, y'all got about 45 minutes to an hour to tap in with the kid, listen to this build. Y'all see this subject matter, man. We're going to talk about one of the old faithful members of the conscious community back in the day, apparently getting caught up, pleading guilty to child molestation, having to serve 7 years in prison, 10 years on probation. You know, we're going to chop it up and we're going to tap in regards to this subject matter, in regards to what has transpired within the last few hours. But what's the word, man? Let me know how y'all living and feeling on this wonderful Wednesday. Montel, peace. What's happening? What's the word? How we living? How we feeling? Y'all see the subject matter, man. We're not even about to make any excuses for that erroneous behavior, man, for that terrible behavior. We're not about to make excuses for this, man. Anybody that was following that so-called conscious community back in the day was able to see right through that, man. It didn't take me long at all to see through that, brother. Not at all. Magic, peace, what's happening, man? Everything is peaceful, everything is good. Ray, peace, what's happening? Infinite Charms, peace, what's happening? Montel, everything is peaceful. High Top, peace. Jabril, peace, what's happening? Like, that community produced a lot of frauds, a lot of scammers, a lot of pedophiles, a lot of creeps, man. A lot of creeps. That fly guy, peace, what's happening? And we, you know, a lot of times when you get brothers that get on some of these platforms and their status is elevated, then they like to use that, oh, the system is trying to tear the black man down when he out here doing X, Y, and Z as a crutch. Every time they get caught up or they get caught doing that nonsense that they was probably doing before they reached that status of notoriety. We got to just be honest with ourselves, man. We have some creeps. We have some pedophiles. We just have some weirdos in our community, and that's just what it is. You know, we have that within our community. Everybody has that within their communities, man. We not exempt from that. Peace, what's happening? Peace to everybody that's tapping in, man. Peace to everybody that's tapping in. Peace, Beast by Bless. Peace, Edward. Peace, Brian. What's the word? So we not exempt. And some of the people that reach a certain status on whatever the platform may be doesn't make them exempt from engaging or indulging in that type of behavior. You know, a lot of them indulge in that behavior simply because they think they can get away with it. Like, for real. Brian, yeah, I didn't heard about it, man. All of them a lot of them are getting accused of some weirdo activity. What's that one dude named? Nature Boy, whatever his name is. Taking that from Ric Flair, which is crazy. But what Nature Boy, man, a lot of these dudes that got accused of some things. Now, the crazy part about it is a lot of them have got accused of things like that. And there's brothers that haven't gotten accused of things like that. You know, so we got to also pay attention to that. Yeah, Pisces, man, that community, and I used to be tapped in to that community a lot back in the day. I used to be tapped in. You know, I'm not even gonna lie. That community at the time, like, I was already coming into knowledge of self just for reading, you know. But see, that when I tapped in with that community, man, they did inspire me to take my game to the next level as far as just studying, research, things like that, or just even articulating my points. Like, they inspired me to take things to the next level. But overall, it didn't take me long to kind of disconnect from that particular community. I wish they would have taken another approach. Because we got a lot of different areas of knowledge that we can touch on and tap into. You know, a lot of times they just got stuck on talking about the Bible and things like that, which they still do to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like they still do this to this day. Talk mainly about the Bible and things like that. Like it's a lot of other things that we could be talking about as a community and what would help us as a people elevate and evolve. You know, so after a while, I just was like, all right, cool. This community has served this purpose for me. It's time for me to just go ahead and do my own knowledge and research and things like that. You know, but it's a few people in that community that remained solid with me throughout all the nonsense. Brother Polight was one of those ones at the time before any accusations of him even scamming came up. I started to be like, man, I don't really sum up with this dude. You know, so I started to tap in and just kind of notice something was fishy with dude early on in the game. You know, I saw right through it kind of early. At first, I was like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I could fool with some of what he's talking about. And then I was just like, hold up, man. Something off with this brother, man. Some ain't right. Some ain't right. God is peace. What's happening? Ray for sure. And you know, Sonetta is like the smack. If you in a battle rap, you know about smack. But Sonetta is like the smack of that type of platform. You know, he's the smack of the conscious platforms. So when you see a lot of platforms coming after him, hosting debates, you know, with the information and things like that, like his platform is kind of like the blueprint. They pretty much were inspired by his platform. I really can't think of any platforms before his that was on that type of time. You know, now y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but that was like the first platform that I remember that was heavy on the information and having debates and things like that, like it was battle rap, you know. And I was around when YouTube first became a thing. You know, I was around before YouTube, you know, so that was one of the first platforms that I remember being on that type of time. Usa Nick, peace, what's happening? Hey, everybody good. Everybody is good. Jabril, and that's exactly the way that I see it. When you out here touching the children, like that's no good. Like I say, we used to have a code back in the day. They used to operate by code. Like the OGs used to operate by code. Yeah, they did destruction, but it was some things that was off limits, fam. And the kids, one of them, man, you not touching the babies, man. That's off limits. You know, that's off limits. We don't do that, man. And I feel like anybody that does that, honestly, I feel like anybody that's out here touching kids like that, man, they deserve death for real, to be honest with you, because that's sick, man. Like, that's sick, fam. That's sick. No job. What's happening? Like, that's my honest assessment of it, man. You out here touching children, especially somebody like Brother Polight, somebody who you know knows right from wrong. So a person like Brother Polight, man, they are indulging in an act like that, like they know exactly what they're doing. They're not so-called crazy. You know what I'm saying? They can't plead insanity. They know what the Brother Polight knows what he's doing. He's trying to mold the young girl. You know what I mean? So like, that's sick, fam. Like, I don't like that. And how do I know? How do I know that this stuff is going on? Like, how do I know this stuff is real in the field? Because I have been around folks in certain industries. I have been around men in certain industries that try to encourage me to date women or girls 10 years younger than me. And this is in my 20s, fam. So I didn't been around. I didn't seen that. I've had dudes that was part of certain industries. I ain't even gonna say no names and do none of that. But I done had grown men in certain industries tell me that you should be dating 10 years younger. Like a man should date 10 years younger, or a man should look to get a woman, which would be a girl at the age I was at, 10 years younger. This is some advice that I was given, fam. Like, I'm telling y'all, this is some advice that I was given. Like, I promise y'all, like, I'm not going to make something like that up. This is advice that I was given. I'm like, dude, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in my early 20s. Do y'all understand 10 years from like your early 20s? Do y'all understand what I'm saying out here, fam? Do y'all really understand what I'm saying? You know, so that's actually a more popular viewpoint than y'all know amongst the inner circles of some of these men in certain industries, to where they target young girls. Like, this is popular. It's popular for some of these grown men to tell you to target these younger girls. I'm telling y'all, it's more normal than we know. And that's a sick mentality. That's a sick mindset. I would never give any type of dude that advice. I would never take a young 20-year-old and tell him, like, look, aim to date somebody 10 years younger than you. I ain't gonna do that. I'm not finna do that. But that was some advice I was given, and with a straight face, man. With a straight face. Oh yeah, Ray, 1,000%, man. Like I say, it's some things that's off limits, man. It's touching the children is off limits, fam. Those people should be stoned to death, man. We should go back to the old day, stone them to death. You know what I'm saying? Like that, for real. That's sick. And then it's a slap. Really, this dude then pled. Now again, you could plead guilty. It don't mean you guilty. You know what I'm saying? People take plea deals all the time. But I'm under the impression that bro did that. Yeah, I'm under the impression that bro did it. You know what I'm saying? And 7 years ain't nothing for real. You know what I'm saying? The grand scheme of things for molesting a 14-year-old little girl. That ain't 7 years. It's not, man. I know people that have done lesser crimes and doing way more time than that. I know people that just had dope on them in the whip. Matter of fact, BG just got out of BG, the rapper from Cash Money back in the day, the Hot Boys. My man's just got out of prison. What he did about 13 years, man. BG did about 13 years, man, for some gun charges. Now, some of the firearms were stolen, but still, man, how many years BG do, man? I forgot how many years he did. Wasn't it about 13 or something? I swear, BG been locked up for a minute. I think he was sentenced to like 14. No, it was 11. After 11 years. 11. BG served 11 years, fam, for some gun charges. For some gun charges, bro. This dude that molested a 14-year-old girl, he about to get 7. And he might get out before the 7. It got to serve 10 years probation. My man's had gun charges, stolen firearms, got sentenced to 14, served 11. Which crime is worse? Y'all, I'm gonna ask y'all, which crime is the worst? I got some gun charges. Yeah, I might have stole 2 of the firearms, but then I molested a 14-year-old. Who should serve more time? I think I'd rather have the dude that had the gun charges out here more so than the pedophile. Man, we could deal with the brother with the guns, man. But somebody out here touching these children, come on, man. Like, if we got this to compare the two, that don't even make any sense. My bro just did 11 years for that. And now, bro, dude got sentenced to 7 with 10 years probation. So that ain't really enough time, if you ask me. Because you got to understand, this might not be the only one that he didn't molested. Fam, he might have molested several of them. Y'all know how that game go. Y'all know how the game go. But then we got to understand something. First of all, now we got to understand, Brother Polight, he was, while he was telling folks not to fool with the Jews and not to fool with the white folks, the Europeans, he was behind closed doors. So we got to understand he didn't got the 7 years because, for one, the system that gave him the 7 years is filled with pedophiles. You know what I'm saying? So that's what they do. And he ran with them for a very long time behind closed doors while he telling us not to fool with them. So he ran with these white Jews, I should say, and these Europeans. And we already know they heavy on the pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? So he was just doing what they was out here doing. They showed him the ropes, you know what I'm saying? Probably threw the 14-year-old at him, and told him what to do. So we already know how that go. This system is filled with pedophiles as far as the people that enforce the laws and the rules. A lot of them are pedophiles. A lot of them rapists. They do all of that. You know what I'm saying? So again, it doesn't surprise me that he would get 7 with 10 years probation. And I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't serve the whole 7. Malik, man, I'm trying to, because that's some advice that's been given to him. That's that advice. They wanted these dudes, like, I'm gonna be real with you. See, I'm gonna be real. Like, I'm gonna keep it, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. They out here encouraging these dudes to date 10 years younger than them, all for manipulation and control purposes. That's it. That's all. That's the only reason why you would tell a young man to date someone 10 years younger than him. Because you can control and manipulate that younger individual. When you 30 and you talking to a 20-year-old, you more seasoned than them. You can manipulate that younger mind better than you can manipulate a mind that's around your age, fam. So they are encouraging dudes to do that so that they can manipulate and control them. This is just what it is. That's the only reason that I would suggest or recommend that you date 10 years younger, because other than that, it makes zero sense. You know, it's for control and manipulation purposes only. You know, the same reason why a black woman that is called a cougar would be targeting young black men or young black boys for control and manipulation purposes only. You know, that's the only reason why somebody would tell you to date 10 years younger than you. That's the only reason. It's for manipulation and control. Because that's what, like, those are some insecure brothers that's telling you that, that's giving you that advice. Very insecure. You got to watch a brother that's telling you that. First of all, if a dude is telling you that, you really got to eye him and be like, man, what type of life you been living? Because wait a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's terrible. That's terrible advice. I'm going to question anybody that's giving me some type of advice like that. I got to question them. Because what are you on? What have you been doing? You know? Like, straight up, man, you gotta question that, man. I never fell for that bait. I never listened to that, man. When dudes was telling me that, I was laughing at them. I'm like, man, I'm good. I'm not on that type of time, man. You know, I'm out here scoping younger girls, man, just so I can control them and mold them and get them to do what I want them to do, man. Nah, I'm good, man. I don't want to be in nothing like that. I don't want to be in any situation like that. I don't want to be in any type of relationship like that to where I got to be trying to mold a chick. You know what I'm saying? Nah, a younger chick. No, I'm good. I'm good. Why would you even want to be in a situation like that? And that's what it sounded like was happening with the brother Polight situation, man. You about to get this 14-year-old, you molding her, man. We have seen this, man, too often. We done seen this same song and dance way too often, man. They molding these young girls, man. For real. For real. Rose, what's happening? Why is it? For sure. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Hey, Malik, for sure. I'm trying to tell you. I mean, even just within your age brackets, you know, I look at it like this. Within your high school age bracket, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, within your high school age bracket. You know the difference of age between like a senior and like a freshman, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's about 4 or 5 years. 4 or 5 years plus or minus, up or down. Like, man, that should be good enough for you. You know? Now, of course, as you get a little older in the game, like you 40 and you talking to somebody that's 30, like, all right, whatever. But come on now, man. You telling 20-year-olds to, nah, fam. 25-year-olds be looking at some 14, 15-year-olds. We good. We good. Like we good on that, man. I've never been a fan of that type of advice. You know what I'm saying? I've never been a fan of that type of advice, man. But like I said, I've seen people travel down that path. Antoinette, peace, sister, what's happening? You know? But man, we got to do away with the pedophiles in our communities, man, and the child molesters in our own community, because they here. You know, even if you travel back in time, back in the day, you know, unfortunately, sometimes you had this amongst black families, and instead of us dealing with the problem, we shipping out the pedophile to one of these small towns. I've seen that too many times, and people being in denial. You know, you got that uncle that, you know, people got an uncle that's a child molester touching the niece or touching the whatever, and the whole family in denial. Or they saying he got you know something wrong with your Uncle Roy. You know he got some mental problems, trying to brush it off. You know, I done seen some stuff like that. I done seen a lot of stuff like that and heard a lot of stories like that. You know, so they'll protect that individual, man. Protect that. We got to start doing that. If you touching child, I don't care what your relation is to me. I don't rock with that. So if you doing something like that, I don't rock with you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the connection is or the relation is. You out here touching children, you out here touching babies, man. We are no longer in communication. We are no longer cool. I don't rock with that. I'm not rocking with you. I'm not rocking with a person that's on that type of time, fam. Like, that's sick, and I ain't got time for that. E-Shep, man, it's a lot that goes on these days that I really don't understand. And back in the day, I used to try hard to understand it, but some of this stuff, it just wasn't even meant for us to try to understand. Because, and that's exactly the point I've made, because you will get brothers that talk about women these days and what they don't do. But then yet now you trying to talk to younger women. So if the women of your age bracket, if they not right and exact, why do you think the women that came up underneath them is about to be any better? Make that make any sense to me? You know, we about to say, well, y'all women that's in our age range, they ain't no good. So I'm about to talk to somebody 10, 12, 15 years younger than me, who was like came up underneath. They have been looking at, or they are, hold up, y'all, I'll be getting messages. I'll be getting messages from clients. But now you got these chicks that's 10, 15 years younger than you. They looking up to the women in your age bracket, and you somehow think that's a better investment. Nah. Logic on lockdown, peace, what's happening? That makes no sense. But that's what dudes be on with the mindset, or some of these dudes that I've seen say some stuff like that. That's what I be thinking about. Like, what? You know, like the women of your generation and era, y'all say they doing, but then you gonna try to talk to the young girls whom they are raising. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense. You 45, like I'm finna talk to a 21-year-old who could have been potentially raised by people in your generation, but you say they trash. Okay. You know, a lot of that stuff doesn't make any sense. And I could not wrap my mind around some of this stuff. You know, it wasn't meant for some of this stuff wasn't meant for at least meant for me to understand. Maybe y'all can understand it, but it wasn't meant for me to understand. I gave up on it. Anthony, I'm trying to tell you, we good for covering that up. Good for covering that up, unfortunately. You know, when you go to some of these small towns where some of y'all may have family members in some of these small towns, that's where they ship off a lot of these child molesters and pedophiles, you know, all that. All these people that did dirt. You know, when you got family that's in a big city or whatever the case may be, you know, and you got the family member that did dirt, they may send him back to the family that's in that small town, that's that small Mississippi or Alabama town. That's where they send a lot of them folk. Like I found that out. You know, I found that out. You know, when when dudes or family members, relatives do some dirt, they send them to these small towns to live with the grandma, live with the, you know what I'm saying? That's what they do. D-Roy, man, I'm trying to tell you, there's plenty of other words, you know, that we can use to describe dude. But pedophile, that's the word for the day. You know, we can go scammer, we could go a bunch of words, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna roll with pedophile for the day, or child molester for the day. I'll tell you that much. Malik straight up and not even snitching. Man, I might we might have to catch a fade. You know, I might have to give you these hands. You know, you might have to get served justice on my watch. You know, you might have to get these hands first. Straight up. Because more than likely, you touch somebody in the fam that I know, so you're gonna have to get these hands. Or if you just touch kids in general, you might have to get these hands when I see you. Brian, you say your dad is 62 and his stepmom is 30. He took the 10 years a little deeper than he took the 10 years and rolled and ran with that. Yeah, he took the 10 years and ran with that. God damn. He took that and ran with it. But nah, you might have to catch a fade for sure. You might have to catch a fade. We not even gonna, you might have to just catch a fade. Like I didn't about had to catch fades with people for putting their hands on women in the family. You just gotta catch a fade, man. You just gonna have to catch that fade. 30 something. That's either way. It's still a nice gap. You know, but yeah, man, you out here, you touching the kids and you putting your hands on the women in the family. You gotta catch a fade. We gotta catch the fade, fam. We got to catch the fade. Like it's that, no questions asked. You got to get some hands. You got to get beat down. I done found out you out here touching somebody, you touching your own family member, and I'm a part of this family. Nah. Like, nah, you gotta get beat down. You gotta get what we call universal beat down. You gotta get beat down by the family. You gotta get beat down by the family first, then we serve you to the prison. We serve you to the prison, but first you gotta get beat down by the family. We gonna give you this universal beat down, then we serve you up. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm not protecting no pedophile, man. I'm not protecting that nonsense. I'm not protecting that garbage, man. That's garbage. I never protect that day in my life, man. It's some people it's legit people that need some protection. They are not one of them. Hey, why I'm trying to tell you, man, we can't be, listen, we argue all day about protecting women and all that. One thing we all can agree on is we got to protect the babies, because they can't really protect themselves from adults. So that's one thing we all can agree on. The babies need protection. You know what I'm saying? Like, the babies need protection. So we can all agree on that. We ain't got to argue about that one, man. We ain't got to argue about that. We see a grown man, we see a man in his 40s messing with a 10-year-old girl. We all can agree that that's messed up and we should intervene and not let that go down. I think we all can agree to that. If you don't agree to that, then hey, we need to report you right now. We a 40-year-old man, we see him with a 10-year-old girl, and it don't look like it's a father and daughter type of relationship. We all can agree that it's time for some intervention. And I'm not talking divine intervention. It might be divine intervention because we jumping in as the original people. You know what I'm saying? But we can all agree that something needs to happen. We can't let that go down. Like, straight up, we can all agree to that. Matter of fact, if you read Will Smith's book, that joint was in his book, fam. That was in his book. He was talking about a dude in the neighborhood that was on that type of time. Everybody feared this man because he was on that pedophilia type of time, and how he saw a young girl go in his house and things like that, and he cowered up on us, man, and wasn't able to tell anybody. Now, if he was a young boy at the time, but he said he froze up and couldn't tell anybody. But luckily, he said somebody else saw it and reported it. But it's like, come on, fam, you see something like that, it's time to say something. It's time to say something, man. What this little girl just go? And we know that this dude on that type of time. Nah, knock on that door. We going in there. We going in there. We going in that thing. We gonna go ahead and get her up out of there. Nah, we not going. You getting these hands, fam. You getting every bit of these hands. Antoinette, man, street justice is a beautiful thing when it comes to that. Like that should be the first line of justice, because you already know. This is the thing. The streets always know first. You know what I'm saying? The streets always know what done happened first. The streets always get the information first. The streets always know before law enforcement. The streets always know. The streets know. The streets know what done happened before the cops find out. Before the feds find out sometimes, man. The streets be knowing. So when we find out, the first line of justice should be street justice. Give them hands. Beat them to a pulp, then send them on to the system. That's how that should go every time. Every time some stuff then popped off in my world, in my life, the streets, what they say, word on the street. Word on the street travel faster than the news, fam. You find out some stuff before you see it anywhere near the news. You know, so when they say, that's where the whole phrase word on the streets then came from. So you find out some stuff on the streets way before they do. So when we find out somebody out here being foul, it's time for us to serve up that street justice for sure. Black Rage, what's happening? Serve them up. Serve them up nicely, fam. We got to stop letting these folks get off the hook. And then if Brother Polight gets out in 7 years, anybody that's still rocking with him, I'm questioning all of y'all. If Brother Polight gets out of this joint in 7 years and he start getting back, he gonna be on Instagram. Matter of fact, he can still be on Instagram, all that, while he in prison. You know that the game done changed. You know, but if any dude is still proclaiming to be a fan, student, whatever, of Brother Polight, don't talk to me. Unsubscribe from my channel, and please do not talk to me at all. If you still rock with them, if you still rock with that brother, man. If you rock with any of these brothers that's on that type of time. Like, for real, I'm asking y'all to do me the favor so I don't have to go out and find y'all. I don't want to have to go find y'all and delete. I don't delete. So I'm telling y'all right now, get rid of yourselves. Please and thank you. If you still rock with the dude, go ahead and remove yourself. Because I'm telling you right now, I don't and never will. Start rocking with him a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? So again, if you are still a Brother Polight fan, student, whatever you call yourself, disciple, whatever, please remove yourself. Please remove yourself. You know, please remove yourself now. Don't have no conversation with me. Don't start telling me what the system did, what the system be trying to do to the black man, this, that, and the third. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes it's not the case. Sometimes we just got wicked folks in the community, and that's just what it is. Yeah, Brother Polight, we got to call him pedophile Polight now. You know, double P, you know. What they say, pushing P, that's pedophile Polight. That's his new name for real. You know, when they made the song Pushing P, that's what they was, the pedophile Polight. Matter of fact, there we go. That's the new name, pedophile Polight. But that's what he needs. That's his new name right there. Go ahead, pedophile Polight. Hey, E. Kennedy, and I agree with them. I agree with all that. You know what I'm saying? I agree with all that. Hey, I agree with all that. Yeah. I'm already hip about Malachi York, you know. The New Wapians, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm well too familiar with that community, man. I done had all type of debates with them, like I said, back in my days when I had to debate folks all the time. Used to get into it with that particular community, you know. So of course they learning from dude. And dude would be Malachi York would be the prime example of the age range of the dudes that gave me that type of advice, man. So I'm already knowing. You know, but again, pedophile, polite, pushing P out here. You know what I'm saying? That's what dude is on, you know. Pedophile, polite. Y'all better start rocking with these. Y'all better start rocking with these joints, man. Hey, pedolite. You know what I'm saying? That sound like a that Pedialyte. That sound like one of them joints. Y'all better start right. Y'all better start rocking with these dudes, man. Y'all getting scammed. They taking thousands of dollars from you. They leading you in the wrong direction, man. I'm trying to tell you. Y'all better start rocking with these folks, man. You know, we let people sound good and they be getting us, fam. They be getting us. That's why I'm quick to let y'all know what my actual issues are. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Divine King, man, I agree. I thought I was hardcore with the way I view things, but I see y'all right along with me, man. Mug should be stoned to death. You ask me, man. You touching these babies, stone them. Stone them, fam. Play around with these folks, man, for real. See, a lot of these dudes, man, they won't get on. Again, it's the ego. They get big-headed. So they get on these platforms, fam, and they will never sit and admit their flaws and their faults. They on that high horse. And I ain't gonna never place myself on no high horse ever. Let you know. Let you know what my problems are. So if something ever come out about me, it will make it you already know. You know, if I'd have messed around and did something out of anger, then y'all, yeah, he said he had anger issues, so he probably did it. But if they say I done did something that is unrelated to stuff I done talked about myself, then y'all can know. They messing that up. Oh, Black Rage. I mentioned Nature Boy early on. Dude got still his name from Ric Flair, all that, man. Hey, dudes be wild. I'm trying to tell, man, when dudes be getting on these stuff be getting to their head, man. Dudes be out here tripping, man. You know, out here with whole coats, man. Got folks out here brainwashed and straight on some Jim Jones type of nonsense. Got people drinking the Kool-Aid. Man, I ain't never fooling with nobody that hard, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'ma even go out on even like Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Farrakhan, I'm like, I can't follow nobody that hard, fam. I just can't do that, fam. Like, I can't do that. Me, I just can't live like that. Like, if you put out some stuff that I rock with, cool, but I can't follow one man or woman like everything they say is right and exact. And people be tripping with that, man. Man, I'm telling you. Man, listen, Farrakhan can tell these folks to jump off of a bridge, and some of them gonna go and jump off the bridge. Nobody should have that type of control over your mind, fam. Nobody. You know, when these dudes get on these platforms, man, and they build up these followings, man, people be getting brainwashed by it, fam. I ain't never about to be that tapped into one person to where I'm about to be completely brainwashed by everything they do and say, even if I like what they saying. Nah, fam. It ain't never going down like that. I'm sorry. I can respect your work, but I'm not about to be on that type of time with no man, no woman, like at all. Like at all. To where that's all I quote. Like when you talking to your average mother, well, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, or the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, dude, what do you say? Like, what do you say? Like, I can't stand having them type of conversations when all somebody doing is quoting what somebody else then said. And I'm asking them how they feel. Like, dude, all right, I get what Elijah Muhammad said. I read his work. I get what Farrakhan said, man. I listen to every speech. What are you saying, fam? Khalid Muhammad is one of my favorite people on the planet, but I ain't about to quote everything he done said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got my own thoughts, fam. Like, I got my own perspective. I'm not about to just quote one man. Like, whatever question you ask me, I'm quoting Dr. Khalid Muhammad. According to Dr. Khalid Muhammad, nah, I'm not doing that, fam. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. I don't like, listen, I don't like nobody that much, fam. I'm sorry. I don't like nobody that much. Even, like I said, my favorite people. I don't like them that much to be quoting them all day, every day. Nah. Black Rage, appreciate that donation. What you say? I also heard prisons in certain states protect pedos, and if another inmate touches them, it's a hate crime, and they give more time for it. Yep. Because, and y'all know why that is. I touched on that in a stream. This might have been some weeks ago, or this might have been a month or two ago. Because they striving to normalize pedophilia. So that's why he got 7 years and 10 years probation. They are in the process of normalizing and legalizing pedophilia. So that's why they protecting them in prisons now. Like, straight up. They done already did it with homosexuality and the transsexuals, all that. They done already normalized that. You know, that used to be a mental illness. Damn, they used to be considered sick in the head when you were a homosexual. You were sick. You had a condition. Something was wrong with you. Now it is normal. Same thing about to happen with pedophilia. That is a mental condition. Something is wrong with you. Why are you liking little girls? It's a problem. They are in the process of normalizing that and legalizing it. So that's why you can do that and get about 7 years. Like, just give it some years. They are in the process of legalizing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. And then bestiality is next. So they're going to normalize and they're going to legalize pedophilia to where it's going to be nothing. So these people that's being pedophiles getting a slap on the wrist with the charges, you know, or the prison sentence, slap on the wrist. You know, then once they legalize this and make this normal, then bestiality. Folks about to be out here having relationships with horses, dogs, cats, rats, hogs, everything, you know. And y'all know who started that type of behavior. Y'all know where that type of behavior comes from. You know, but for real, like they normalizing that, or pedophilia, they normalizing pedophilia, legalizing it, and all of that. Black Rage, that's exactly the LGBTQ community. They so caught up in their egos and they just so caught up in their nonsense that they never look in the mirror and realize the repercussions and consequences of their movement. They never want to hold themselves accountable. They never want to look in the mirror because there's pros and cons to everything. The LGBTQ community, they never want to look in the mirror and realize what the cons are of what they are doing. That's one of the cons. It's hard to argue with all this type of stuff. Now you gotta normalize everything because they did all of this fighting. They didn't force the world to normalize something that was once viewed as a mental illness. Once you do that, now you got to open the door to everything that was once viewed as a mental illness. You got to do that. You have to do that. You have to, fam. If this was considered a mental illness back in the day, and now they didn't fought, and now they didn't normalize it. So now everything that is viewed as a mental, we got to look at it. Okay, now we, you know, liking girls, liking young girls was a mental, but now we got to look at it. That is the side effect of what the LGBTQ community has done. It's the side effect. It's a side effect, fam. It's like medication. It comes with a side effect sometimes that's worse than the sickness. That's what this community is producing. It's a side effect. It's a lot that's about to spring from that community in regards to normalizing a bunch of nonsense that should not be normalized. And it's going to stem from that. And they will never admit that. They will always act like it has nothing to do with their community. Has everything to do with it. Has everything to do with their community, fam. Has everything to do with their community, fam, but they will never admit that, fam. They will never admit it. They will never admit it. So that's one of the major problems that I have with that community, is the fact that I've never heard people that's a part of that community critique themselves and critique that community. I've never heard it, fam. Never heard it. Meanwhile, I didn't at least critique, man, I done critiqued all of our organizations. You know, I done critiqued where the Black Panthers went wrong. You know what I'm saying? I done critiqued Marcus Garvey and his approach, where everybody went wrong. I done critiqued Malcolm X and where he went wrong. Like, I done critiqued the Nation of Islam and where they went wrong. I do not ever really hear that community critique themselves in regards to what they are doing that could be harmful to the world, fam. I never heard it. I've never heard. Maybe y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not come across. Now, mind you, I don't be looking for them, you know. So, hey, just the few times that I've had conversations with them or seen them talk, I have not heard anybody from that community speak ill of that community in regards to the harmful effects of what they are doing. But Wanda Dion, what's happening? Oh, God is for sure. You know, for sure. You know, so I'm trying to tell you, man, we got to understand, got to understand the side effects of everything that we do. You know, everything comes with some pros and everything comes with some cons, fam. Everything. What are we going to do? Because it's going to happen. What are we going to do when they normalize pedophilia? I mean, it's pretty much already happening. But what are we going to do? Y'all see the way we watch? You try to watch some on TV now and they have all the homosexual activity. You know what I'm saying? We see that now. What we going to do when we try to watch things now and they got pedophilia in there? And not in a way that's shedding light on some problems with pedophilia, but they got pedophilia in the shows and movies like it's normal and try to force us to accept it. What you gonna do then? At that point, I can't watch nothing. So that's coming. That's coming. That's coming. You think it's rough now? Like, you think trying to watch something now is rough? Wait until that happens. You watching these shows, you watching these movies, man, and they got a 45-year-old dude in a relationship with a 12-year-old girl, and it's normal. And it's a love story. So the whole movie is based off a 45-year-old and a 12-year-old, and it's a love story. Man, who watching that? You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be the whole movie in the theater. A love story of a 45-year-old man and a 12-year-old girl. What? That's what they own. That's what they own. Mark my words, y'all will see this. Y'all will see it. Give us some time. It might already be out here in some movies, man. I ain't just seen every movie on the planet, so it might already be out here on some movies and some shows. You know, it might be already out here heavy. I don't even know. You know, but I'm guaranteeing you 10, 15, 20 years from now, it's going to be way more heavier than it is now. So we gotta, I'm telling you, man, we gotta peep the game, man. We gotta peep what's going on, fam. We gotta peep the game. We gotta peep what's happening, fam. Like, the thing of it is, man, we be in denial. We like to ignore what's happening around us. We gotta stop doing that. You know, a lot of times you get viewed as pessimistic, things like that, when you deal with reality, when you deal with what's going on within your communities and you not ignoring them. Like, for real, I'm gonna keep it real. Black folk, we have a tendency to not take things seriously enough. We have a tendency like to make everything out to be a joke. And we gotta stop. We gotta really stop doing that. It's a time and a place. it's a time and a place for jokes, man. It's a time and a place for comedy, but it's also a time and a place for seriousness. And a lot of times we don't understand. We don't know when it's time to be serious. We have a problem with figuring out, okay, now it's time to be serious. Oh, you should, for sure. And you know, I man, listen. But one now, in the end, that happens, but it can take a minute for you to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? It takes a minute for that to start happening, for real. Like it takes a minute. It's like the process of evolution. You know what I'm saying? Like even when it's going backwards, it still can take thousands of years for like that to actually transpire. You know? So yeah, of course, nature gonna do its thing. You know, but that's gonna take years for them to fully wipe everything out. Unfortunately, you know, that's the messed up part about it. So it's like we gotta live amongst this nonsense. Brian, no, I ain't never really tap in to do stuff like that. Like I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like a lot of the people in that's a part of that particular community, I don't tap in with a lot of them. Man, I used to watch a lot of them, but now, man, I used to watch all of them, fam. Like, you know, SETI, Polight. I never really rock with Young Pharaoh. Like I never listened to Young Pharaoh like that, man. I ain't never really tap in with dude. Could never rock with him like that, man. But I used to rock and then go back to my OGs, Bobby Hemmett, you know, Phil Valentine, man. I used to tap in with all these people, man. Like you name them, I'd have tapped in with them, man. Of course, I'm missing a lot of people, but I used to tap in with everybody, man. But I don't be tapped in like that anymore, man. It's just a select few, or I just go back to my OGs when I feel like hearing some of that information. Like I go watch Khalid Muhammad speech, Steve Coakley. Like I go watch some stuff like that, Amos Wilson. You know, like I'm gonna tap in with stuff like that nowadays if I want to hear some of that type of information. A lot of this a lot of the new age stuff, man, it gets bad with the ego, man. And once I start seeing that happens, man, I can't tap into people that I just can't do it, man. I just can't rock with it, man. Once the ego starts to take over, man, and Muzz get mad when you ask him about a source or something, like it be getting weird, fam. Like it be getting really weird. Like I done seen a few times, man, with a lot of these dudes in this community start talking about some things, and man, Muggs would be like, man, where you get that information from? And they start cursing them out. I'm like, man, dude just asked you where you got the information from. Why are you trying to curse this individual out? Y'all, I post my books all the time. So most of the time, you ain't got to really ask me where I got some information from, because I might read it directly out of the book, and I show y'all pretty much every book that I have read or that I'm currently reading. So you ain't really got a question where a lot of my information will be coming from. But I done seen dudes, man, a lot of these dudes that I'm mentioning, man, when you start trying to ask them where they got some information from, or they start saying dudes stole their information when they got the information from somewhere, it be all type of weird stuff going on, fam. Like I ain't got time. I ain't really got time for those games, man. And these dudes, it be a lot more division than I be really needing to see, man. We be going back and forth about some things, about some topics that really ain't even that serious to be going back and forth about. You know, and then dudes get to hooping and hollering and screaming at each other, man. Everybody got time for that, man. I ain't got time for it, man. That community started to get real sassy, as I like to call it. You know, bunch of grown men, you know, on the screen, and won't nobody let anybody talk. You know what I'm saying? And they getting emotional. It just was a bad. It started to look bad, fam. So I couldn't deal with it, fam. I couldn't deal with all that nonsense, man. It became a little too mainstream for me, a little too sassy for me. I don't want to see a bunch of grown men arguing, yelling at each other. I don't want to see that. That's not productive. Black Rays, man. I can see. I mean, I didn't got, man. You already know. I didn't got called homophobic and all that type of stuff, man. I done got called everything phobic. Anytime you don't like something, you phobic, whatever it is, you know. Fat shaming, I got called homophobic, all that. You know, if that's how you want to view me, at this point, I really don't even care at this point. Like if that's what you think I am, cool, man. I'd great. Because what's the worst that's gonna happen? You gonna stop talking to me? I didn't want to talk to you anyway, probably. You know, so you calling me a homophobic and then you not talking to me again is actually doing me a favor. So, hey, view me in the most evil of lights, fam. If that would cause for you not to talk to me again, I have no problems with that because I probably didn't want to have a conversation with you to begin with, you know. So I don't really be caring what people like, how people view me these days. You know, back then I used to try to, man, but now I don't, man. I don't really care, man. You know, if you think, hey, you think that's what I am, you think I'm a homophobic, cool, then that's what I am to you. You know, that's what I am. I don't really care. I ain't trying to change your mind. I ain't trying to convert you over to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to convert you over to any type of belief system. If you view me in that light, so be it. So be it. You know, I done got called a lot of things, fam, man. I didn't say what I just said about that community, man, and it is what it is. I done let people know 1,000 times. I don't hate people in that community. I just don't agree with the lifestyle. Just like I got plenty of Christian and Baptist family members. I don't hate them, but I disagree with that religion. You know, do that mean I'm about to disconnect from them? No, it doesn't. Doesn't mean I can't have a conversation with them at dinner or something. No, it does not. You know, so I put them in the same light. They have made a decision in life that I don't particularly agree with, just like I didn't made decisions in my life folks don't agree with. That don't mean I hate a whole group. That don't, you know what I'm saying? Like that don't mean I don't like a whole group. I don't like a particular lifestyle decision that they've made. That's it. So if I state that to you and you can't accept that and you still consider me homophobic, then I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else to tell a person like that. I don't know what else to tell you. I can have plenty of conversations with homosexual people. I have had plenty of conversations with them. Do not hate them. You know what I'm saying? Like never that. Do not agree with that. Simple. Plain and simple. Just like they don't agree with my lifestyle. Yet we still having a conversation. That's all it is. So, hey, I done broke it down more than enough times for folks, man. So if people still want to consider you homophobic, yeah, it's whatever. At this point, you ain't changing that person's mind. They already got their mind made up of how you are. All black race for sure. Yeah, you could have got in trouble, man. You could have got in trouble, man, for sure. I'm already knowing, but at this stage in the game, again, it is what it is, man. If you gonna get in trouble, you just gonna get in trouble either way. You know, that's how I just be looking at life, man. Whatever gonna happen, gonna happen. I'm gonna do my best. You know what I'm saying, to make sure the worst don't happen. But whatever is gonna happen, it's gonna happen. I'm gonna prepare myself for either or. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they definitely ain't gonna bully me. What they say, what Gorilla Zoe and them say, never let a good chick little bow wow me. They ain't about to little bow wow me, never that. They ain't gonna never do. I ain't gonna never allow them to do that. Man, Brian, I mean, hey, Islam, hey, I got my opinions on all different types of religion, man, but I know the influence, especially in the Chicago area. You know what I'm saying? Like in the Chicago area, I already like that Muslim community, even just outside of the NOI, like that community is out there, man. So it's a lot of influence, especially in the entertainment circuit. You know what I'm saying? Like they turn it to the Quran and stuff like that, man. So it's especially when you got for a lot of these folks fool with Farrakhan and all that. So it's only a matter that they turn to one version of Islam because that's when they gonna start reading the Quran and stuff. Like when I got introduced to Elijah Muhammad now, you know, when I started to tap in, I got a Quran, you know, so it doesn't surprise me that you would have a lot of these black entertainers converting over to Islam, whether it be the Nation of Islam or just, you know what I'm saying, what they would call traditional Islam, which I don't even like that term, you know, but it doesn't surprise me because once you come across any version of Islam, you're going to start reading the Quran, this, that, and the third. And if somebody around you is influential enough, you're going to make the conversion. Black race, don't white people, they'll die by that. They'll die for that. They'll die about that. The white folk, especially a white girl, they will die protecting the LGBTQ community. Them white women will die about that community. They will die. They will die protecting that community. Best believe it. Best believe it. Whites, a lot of them white chicks will die protecting that community. Man, I ain't lying. Them white chicks will die protecting you say something about that community around a group of white girls, man, you gonna end up in the trunk. You're gonna end up in the trunk for sure. Like you gonna end up in the whole trunk, fam. Like for real. They go hard for the LG, all that community, man. I ain't got time to keep on reciting those letters, man. I ain't got time for that. But yeah, you know, they like Jehovah's Witnesses when it comes, like they gonna die by that. They gonna die by that. They gonna die by that for sure. But either way, I don't care. I'm gonna speak my mind on it. I'm gonna speak my mind for Black Rage, and that you got that too. Just like within the culture, I'm a part of the 5% culture. You got a lot of rappers back in the day that used the lingo of the 5%ers, but wasn't necessarily actually down with the culture. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of that time, a lot of the times it is some garbage like that where they not really down with the actual religion. They doing it for show and all that type of stuff, shock value and all that. You know, you got a lot of that be going on, man. So I already know that be going on a personal level. The upper echelon, man, I was a big set, man. They for real. What they say, gang, like that, they'll pull up on you. They'll pull up. That community will pull up on you for real. That's why I give them that. I will give that community that. I will give the LGBTQ community that. They will pull up on you. They'll pull up on you. They'll protect that name. They protect that brand. They will pull up. What y'all say? What you say about? You know what I'm saying? What you say about homosexuals? They ready to pull up. They pull up deep on you too. They protect the rainbow, the Skittles. You know, they protect Skittles taste the rainbow. They protect them, fam. They protect it for that rainbow, which I don't like how they even claim the rainbow now. You know what I'm saying? They didn't corrupted the rainbow. But Simon, man, for sure. I'm already knowing that history. You know, considering the fact that a lot of our enslaved ancestors were practicing Islam, and a lot of them jumped off the shit, you know, so I could go back into that. I got a few books on that. Eshep, you already know anything to further divide us. White, hands down, white women are the runners of that community. Hands down, fam. It ain't even close. Like it's not even close, man. Like it's not even close. But you know, the media got to further divide us. They got to divide us further. You know how that go. So you know how the media gonna depict the situation. You know, straight up. But man, they done corrupted the rainbow, man. I can't even look at the rain. Like I don't even like wearing a lot of colors these days, man. Even though I always was wearing black. But man, I don't want to give people any type of sign that something might be, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even like wearing a bunch of bright colors, fam. Like, that's how bad the world is these days. I feel like if I wear too bright of a color, man, people gonna think mugs is, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, I can't even do that. That's how all bad stuff is out here, man. You can't even rock certain colors, man. Mugs will get it twisted out here, and then you gotta put your hands on somebody. Cause these folks bold, man. The gay community kind of bold. Bro, they get up in your face like you going, you know, and think things sweet. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? And they won't take rejection right. Shoot, man, you have to put your hands on one of them, fam. For real. Like straight up. Like they be bold with it. Even if you tell them you like, man, we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they think they can turn you out. Like, nah, fam. So then that's when you gonna have to go ahead and get that hate crime. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when you gonna have to get the hate crime. Because, like, I told you this ain't that, and now you pressing the issue. Now you gonna have to get punched in the face. Now I got a hate crime. All because this mug trying to push up on me after I told him things ain't sweet. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that community, especially the women, like the gay women, like the lesbians, all that, like, they be aggressive. If that lesbian run into a chick that say she ain't like that, nah, that dog, boy. Dude, that lesbian ain't trying. They don't even care that you just said that. She in her mind, she knows all women goes both ways. In her mind, like in her mind, every woman goes both ways in their minds. Like for the most part, that's what they be feeling like. So I'm like, hold up. You know, I didn't seen that firsthand, man. Mudge be like, nah, he's like, man, she just don't know it yet. She just got to get turned out. She just got to, like, man, what? Man, anybody got time for that, man. Y'all be out here talking crazy, man. Leave these folks alone. Leave the heterosexual community alone. They tell you that they don't swing that way. Please go. It's plenty of homosexuals and transsexuals, transgenders, all that. Plenty of that out here now. So you can leave us, the minority heterosexual community, alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? When we tell y'all we don't do that, please leave us alone and go dabble with the majority, because they out here now. Like, come on now. Yeah, but like they going at the kids. See, again, and that's what they target. They got the gay BCs, like they targeting the kids. That's why they got the gay BCs, got all this nonsense out here, like they targeting the babies, because that's you in your most impressionable stage at that particular point. Most impressionable stage. So let's target these babies so we can get these babies to grow up exactly how we want them to grow up. So that's what they own. They got to target the babies, because they want the numbers to grow. They want the numbers to grow. Hey, Big Black. Yep, I despise that, and mainly that's what it is. Like that. I mean, man, that's a whole nother topic. Whole nother topic. I ain't even got time to dive into that, you know. But yeah, I can't stand that either. And for the most part, that's all that's promoted from that community. It's always sexual, and always, like 95% of the time when they show that community, it's on a sexual level, because that's the basis of that. You know, so it's always something sexual. Like, nobody got time for that, man. I want to keep seeing that, bro. Like, I don't want to keep seeing that. But that's the only way they can highlight that community. It's gonna always be something sexual. Always. But y'all, man, with that being said, man, I got to make a move. I got to head back up to this gym, finish off these clients for the evening. So I appreciate y'all tapping in with me on this wonderful Wednesday, man. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the build. I definitely enjoyed everybody tapping in with me. All the comments, man. Appreciate the super chats, all the love, man. It's always peace. But I'm gonna let y'all get back to enjoying the rest of y'all Wednesday. Hey, I'm gonna tap in when I tap in, man. But y'all be easy out here, man. Y'all stay peaceful and healthy. I'm out. Peace.